Well, welcome to everybody today to another edition of Fireside Chat, where I have the opportunity to follow up on something we did last fall around the time of the UN General Assembly. If you've been reading the newsletter, you'll know back then there was a special run for several weeks in New York City of the musical Lifeline about the singing and dancing test tubes that brought us penicillin and Sir Alexander Fleming. And today I have the opportunity to chat with Robin Hiley, the producer, creator, innovator behind the show. And he's got some really exciting news for us. Robin, it's really good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too, John. Lovely to be here. I don't have a fire behind me, unfortunately. I just have a heater in my little studio. But
Okay, so Robin, tell us what's going to happen with Lifeline next year.
well, we haven't quite announced yet, but we thought, John, you were a nice place to give a sort of sneak preview of this news that Lifeline is going to be running this time in London for a similar duration to that which we ran in New York, and we're excited to share the news with you.
Wow. So what are the dates? Are those known yet?
Yes, yeah, they are. If you find yourself in London at the very end of March, all the way through to the beginning of May, then on every day other than Sundays, you could have an opportunity to come and see Lifeline. Yeah,
That sounds like 6 weeks.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And where will the show be?
At the Southwark Playhouse, which is a quite a well-known off West End venue. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's fantastic. It was really fun to get to see that show in New York City when you ran it around the time of the UN General Assembly high-level meeting. I, I I thoroughly loved the music, and remind everybody, when you go see the show in London, bring your box of Kleenex, because it is a bit of a tearjerker. Um, how is the show evolving as time goes on? Is it are you adding things, taking things away? What have you learned along the way?
Well, there's sort of a well-known adage in musical theatre that it's never finished, and that's very much the case for Lifeline. It began quite a few years ago now at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, the international festival where everybody comes from all over the world to perform in tiny venues to big venues that are made in all sorts of places that you would never think they could possibly make a theater or a gig venue or a comedy venue. It started out there, actually called The Mold That Changed the World, which maybe some of your viewers or listeners will remember, and it's grown and grown, a bit like the mold itself, and evolved into Lifeline, and from a show that was only 50 minutes long, now a sort of feature-length piece that's made it to off Broadway, and we're making some more tweaks, based on what we learned whilst we were in New York, and thinking about the British audience versus the American audience. But not huge changes from the show that was on in London, and you can listen to it on Spotify. So yeah,
Right. I think actually Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Music.
All those places that
all
you
the
can
things you can
stream music.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Yeah, I'll say I did appreciate having those to listen to before seeing the show. It actually really made a difference. It improved my ability to fully understand what was going on. Is the show going to have the same Greek chorus of medical professionals who are going to provide the background commentary?
It is indeed. It's always been a very special part of the show. Shall I explain what we
Yes,
we do?
please.
Well, we've done this since the outset. Actually, the unique thing about Lifeline is we do, like you say, put a chorus of local scientists and healthcare professionals into the show, who perform alongside the West End actors and the professional band, and that's exactly the way to describe them. The Greek chorus, who have sort of moments of commentary and reflection on their own work, sort of peppered throughout the show, and then without wanting to give too much away, sort of championing them and the work they do as the sort of the future hope for AMR, this terrible global problem that people need to know more about.
Yeah, well, it was a very moving way for the show to end when we saw it, to realize that those folks who were parading around in their white coats and scrubs were the real deal. It really fun. So, and you recruit them out of the local milieu. So this is a thing where, again, I assume you're going to be calling for folks to volunteer to come and be part of your team for a while.
We are indeed. We've got these pockets of amazing people, both in Scotland at the moment and in New York and DC and Atlanta, who have all amazingly given up their time from their busy home and work lives, be that in the hospital or in the lab or etc. And being part of this chorus, and we will be doing that again, but this time in London, and hoping to cast the net as far and wide in London and the sort of neighboring cities and counties to fill our chorus up then, and we'll be announcing the sort of chorus call, if you like, the casting call for the chorus in early November. So watch this space. Yeah.
And so is early November also the time when ticket sales begin, when actually you can officially sign up to go see the show?
It'll be about then, yeah. Around then, sort of working with the marketing team. We'll be making an announcement around then. But at the moment, this is secret for our little group
Right,
of
it's a
AMR
secret.
team.
Other than we're going to tell everybody it's coming, and we'll put out another newsletter when it actually comes. So it's sort of mark your calendar. Sometime between March and end of March, beginning of May, you're going to go see the show. And if you want to get some singing and dancing practice in, here's an opportunity to go and do it with a professional group and learn how it's actually done on the big stage. That's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I hope I can figure out a way to come and see it again in London. I'll work on that. And I am thrilled that you're carrying on with this project, because, as you say, there's not any better way to communicate about this than through a medium that is really, very impactful. And I do believe that we've got one of the sort of the core song from the show that we can put into the video here, and so everybody can get a listen to it. Do you want to say anything about this particular song that is sort of in many ways the heart of the show?
Sure. Yeah. It's a song called "I've Done All That I Can," and it comes in terms of the narrative of the piece. It comes in the second act, and the character who's singing it is actually a politician himself, or involved in government, and has a connection to a character who has sadly passed away, and he has been sort of grappling with the enormity of the problem, sort of looking at it from a global scale, and this I guess it's a song that has resonated particularly with the AMR community, because it sort of sums up the problem in a One Health perspective, sort of taking us to different parts of the world and showing how they're all so interconnected. And this is a a problem, very, very like climate change, where sort of lots of different ecosystems are at play. So there's obviously, it's quite a dark song in places, and not necessarily the subject matter that you would immediately associate with musical theatre. But it's the song that we performed to close the high-level meeting at the United Nations. We've since been on and performed it in a few other places around the world at various conferences, which has been really fun too. So it's kind of really sums up the sort of scientific background of AMR, and the moment that we truly dig into the explanation of how it all works.
I understand one of those venues was the Vatican.
That's right. The Pontifical Academy of Sciences.
Outrageous. Well, so we're gonna slot that into the video here, and those who are watching the video will be able to hear the song. And what I'll say is, get ready. It's a very interesting tune.
A fish farmer is struggling, has hungry mouths to feed. A family with 7 kids relying on his proceeds. In a river full of filth, his fish can only grow and breed if he doses them with drugs within their feed. He sells the fish at market in the local town. The price keeps falling down and down. You cannot really blame him, but the outcome is profound. The drugs are in the water, the drugs are in the ground. A woman 9 months pregnant in the hospital downstream. The baby's breech, you can't push him out. Don't worry, this is routine. The C-section goes well, she's given drugs to guarantee an infection won't stop her recovery. The drugs don't work 'cause the bugs have learned from the water all around. The mother dies and now she's in the ground. The spiral of resistance spinning round and round. 'Cause the drugs are in the water, the drugs are in the ground. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? With 8 billion of us all involved, standing in the way, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? You've gotta understand, I'm sorry, but I've done all that I can. Doctor in a hospital with patients on the floor is battling an infection that is raging on all the wards. History repeating from just weeks ago, no more. But the drugs aren't working like they did before. Could have been avoided with clean water from a tap, but this place don't have things like that. You cannot blame the doctor, but the outcome is profound. The drugs don't work, his patient's in the ground. A beef burger at a famous chain is served up with some fries. The cow was reared with drugs from birth, so fatten it, help it thrive. The meat has bugs like everything, harmless to you and I. You stuff it down, tastes good, you're feeling fine. Weeks pass by, then you get sick, high fever you can't shake. Infection spreads and sepsis awakes. The worn out drugs and ICU are helpless with your fate. Where did resistance come from? Could it be something you ate? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? With 8 billion of us all involved, standing in the way, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? You've gotta understand. I'm sorry, but I've done all that I can. It is coming, the water's running. The drugs are in our crops and meat, yet we do nothing. Resistance rising, the bugs surviving, dividing and thriving with all of the unwitting help we're providing, inviting, not fighting. And all I can hear is a voice in my head shouting, coward. I'm so sorry. There's a deep-seated inequity behind every door worldwide. The rich stay rich, the poor stay poor. We're all so good at reasons to divide, from skin to worshipping, to land and border lines. But this might just be where all worlds collide. We're tired of healthcare tragedies and masks upon our face, and the world, it burns, but our change comes too late. Meanwhile, this hidden spiral spinning round and round, 'cause the drugs are in the water, the drugs are in the ground. The drugs are in the water, the drugs are in the ground. What you want us to do, what you want us to say, with 8 billion of you all involved, standing in the way. What you want us to do, what you want us to say, you've got to understand. I'm sorry, but I've done all that I can.
Robin, thank you again for what you're doing to tell the story of AMR. You and your colleagues it's inspirational to see somebody take discovery penicillin and make the petri dishes and the test tubes dance. I would never have thought about doing that personally. Different brains play different games. It's fantastic. And I'm just so pleased you're able to have another run of the show. And I look forward to the show never being finished, because I want a lot of people to hear it over a long period of time. So anything that you want to add?
Just thank you very much, John. It's great to speak to you, and very lovely, kind words. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you, and I'll look forward to seeing you someplace soon. Super exciting to get to chat with Robin and to hear how Lifeline is continuing to expand its global reach. It's going to cause me to go and listen to the music again. Remember, you can get the entire soundtrack on, I think, Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. So go do that. It's great stuff, and do what you can to get to go see the show. And even better, if you have time, if you have the talent, go sign up to be in the Greek chorus. It really did look like it would be fun to do that, even though I can't sing or dance like that. But the folks who did it, they were clearly having a good time. And that's it for today. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more. See ya.